Language, the bedrock of human communication, has taken a curious path throughout history. Our earliest forms of written communication, like cave paintings and hieroglyphs, relied heavily on symbols. These pictograms represented objects or ideas directly. A drawing of a bird meant quite simply, bird. As societies grew more complex, so did their need for more nuanced expression. Alphabets emerged, representing sounds rather than whole ideas. This allowed for the construction of an immense vocabulary and complex grammatical structures. The written word became capable of conveying intricate thoughts, abstract concepts, and detailed narratives. Yet in the digital age, we see a resurgence of the symbol. Emojis, memes, and even short-form text resemble the immediacy of our earliest forms of writing. A single emoji can convey a complex emotion, much like a cave painting conveyed the idea of a hunt or a celebration. This return to symbolic communication raises intriguing questions about the evolution of language and its relationship to our perception of time itself. Is this return to symbols a step backward? Or could it be a return to a more efficient, intuitive form of communication? Perhaps the digital age is not simply reversing the evolution of language, but revealing a cyclical pattern, a dance between complexity and simplicity. The physical world seems to operate under the iron grip of entropy. This fundamental law of physics dictates that disorder or randomness always increases in a closed system. Imagine cracking an egg. Once scrambled, it's impossible to return it to its original ordered state. The same goes for smoke billowing from a fire. It can't be coaxed back into the confines of the burning wood. These are examples of irreversible processes, illustrating the unidirectional flow of time. Entropy seems to permeate every aspect of the physical world, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. It's the reason why ice melts, why metal rusts, and why the universe itself is thought to be moving towards a state of maximum disorder known as heat death. This relentless march of entropy is often referred to as the arrow of time, always pointing forward, never backward. At first glance, the evolution of language from symbols to complex grammatical structures seems to defy the principle of entropy. After all, aren't we moving towards greater order and complexity? However, language doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's inextricably linked to the human mind, which itself is subject to the constraints of time and perception. Perhaps the return to symbolic communication isn't a reversal of entropy, but rather an adaptation to the limitations of human cognition. Just as a complex organism eventually succumbs to the ravages of time, our brains crave efficiency in processing information. Symbols, with their immediacy and emotional resonance, offer a shortcut, a way to bypass the complexities of language and connect on a more visceral level. This doesn't mean that complex language is obsolete. Just as a symphony orchestra and a solo flute each offer unique artistic experiences, complex and simple forms of communication serve different purposes. The key is understanding their respective strengths and limitations. Time, as we experience it, is not simply the ticking of a clock. It's fluid, subjective, influenced by our emotions, thoughts, and sensory input. When engrossed in a captivating book or a thrilling movie, hours can melt away in what feels like minutes. Conversely, moments of boredom or anxiety can stretch into an eternity. Could our return to symbols be linked to this subjective experience of time? Symbols, by reducing cognitive load and appealing to our emotions, might create a sense of immediacy, a slowing down of time. Consider the impact of a powerful photograph or a poignant piece of music. These forms of communication transcend the limitations of language, evoking a depth of emotion and a sense of timelessness that words often struggle to capture. Perhaps in a world saturated with information and constantly vying for our attention, symbols offer a refuge, a moment of pause. They allow us to reconnect with a more primal, intuitive form of communication, one that resonates with the deepest parts of our being.